Thank you very much. I'm sure that most Guyanese would have watched the ruling of the Court of Appeal, which just concluded, and therefore will have a clear understanding of the various positions of the three judges who participated in the hearing. You would have heard the nuances in their argumentations and the lengthy ruling that most of them, in fact, all of them read out. And you would have also been privy to the ruling of the Chief Justice, which came sometime last week. And what are the things that are common? I do not intend to replicate or to spend a great deal of time talking about the ruling, because most of you have watched or will watch the ruling over the course of the next maybe day or so. But what were the key issues that came out of both the lower court and the Court of Appeal? First of all, that the matters filed in this case, these are matters that were already filed in other cases and decided upon either by the Court of Appeal or the Caribbean Court of Justice. So this is an abuse of the court. APNU is relitigating issues that had already been litigated and decisions made. And the Chief Justice had some harsh words in that regard, that we cannot be doing the same thing over and over in a never-ending cycle. All of this with the purpose of delaying the declaration of the result. So that was the clear finding of all the judges so far, that these matters, or most of these matters, had already been litigated and decisions made on them. Secondly, they all reaffirm the position that it's the commission that has the authority to supervise the elections and to make decisions regarding the declaration, and that the court doesn't have jurisdiction to interfere with the commission. So you had a few different views about jurisdiction on process, but all the judges agreed, all four judges from both the High Court and the Court of Appeal, that it is the commission that is empowered in our Constitution to make the decision relating to the elections and declaration of the results. They all confirm that Lowenfield is a functionary, an employee of GECOM. He is not a constitutional officer, and he's subjected to the guidance of the commission and directions of the commission. That's a clear finding that the commission is empowered to deal with the elections, and the court cannot inquire into the acts of the commission at this point in time, and only through an elections petition after the declaration has been made in accordance with Article 163 of the Constitution. They've all the judges have pointed out that the recount stands, that the recount order was endorsed by the CCJ. One judge pointed out that this could only be challenged, the recount order, through an elections petition, because that matter was also litigated. But the recount order stands, and therefore the recount itself is valid, and that they cannot return to declarations made including the fraudulent declaration of Mingo that Lowenfield wants to use to declare the results of the elections. Those were overtaken by the recount figure. And the president of the court in this Court of Appeal in this regard pointed out that Lowenfield was in charge of the recount at a central location. So it should not be difficult for him to tabulate the recount, the 10 certificates. So they made it clear at this point in time, only the recount figures stand. Only the recount figures stand and must be used for the declaration. And that GECOM can direct Lowenfield what figure to use. And in this case, they have done so already. So these are clear issues. They threw out the appeal. Just now, they threw the appeal of Basil Williams and the other APNU individuals. They're all a single cabal. This is all the rigging cabal working together. Never mind, they have different faces and different lawyers, but they have a common plot there to, once again, using the court, delay the declaration of the results. But their appeal was dismissed today, and the findings are clear. Lowenfield, the commission now has the power to make the final declaration, and they have their final say, not Lowenfield. And Lowenfield is subjected to the directions of the commission. Now, having made that finding and dismissing the appeal that the commission is responsible and the court cannot inquire into the acts of the commission now, except in some cases, to the judge's rule, in a narrow jurisdiction, we saw the desperation on the faces of people like Roysdale Ford and the Attorney General and the others, who were arguing for a stay of the court's decision. Now, the court made no order. The court dismissed their appeal. So effectively, they're ordering, they want the court to stay the dismissal of the appeal. And so we were shocked to see how the court tolerated the nonsensical arguments that were preferred to justify this stay, and the court did not answer the question from Senior Counsel Mendez. He asked pointedly at the end, what precisely are you staying? Because there is no decision of the court. They dismissed the appeal. And Justice Barnes herself said that they cannot tell GECOM what to do. They can't tell GECOM not to act or to act. It depends, because they can't intervene in GECOM, so they can't here at this point in time be staying the GECOM from acting. They have no such jurisdiction to put a stay on GECOM from taking positions. So unless the Court of Appeal, we are pleased that the decision was unanimous in this regard, and it justifies all that the people who are fighting for democracy have been saying, that Lowenfield is acting fraudulently, illegally, for part of the rigging cabal, and that he has no authority to act in that manner, and that it's the commission that makes the decision. Now the cabal wants the court to stay GECOM. GECOM has which they can't do, yet they got to stay for 24 hours, and we don't know until now what this stay is about, what effectively they're staying. And so I would urge Justice Claudette Singh, as our lawyer pointed out, the elections, when are we going to declare? The lawyer said 2025. Justice Singh is under no obligation to respect any stay when nobody is clear what the stay is about, given that the Court of Appeal unanimously dismissed the appeal of the riggers. And so I would urge the Commission and Justice Singh to act urgently. The country has waited for a very long time. Everyone agreed that these matters have been aired ad nauseum, and the courts have been abused, and it's time to move on. I was pleased today to see Mr. Granger, and I hope he sticks with this, saying that he will accept any declaration without any precondition, and that is what he had said earlier before he evolved into another position. We're pleased with this most recent evolution back to normalcy, back to what should happen. And therefore, we just need, since all the courts have said, and everyone, CCJ, the High Court and the Court of Appeal have all said that it's the recount figures that must be used, and anything that any other issue you raise with a petition, that the Commission will act swiftly, and over the course of the next few days, declare the results of the elections using the recount figures. Do not allow this cabal to drag us through another week of they will try to abuse the court once again. And Justice Singh has to be cognizant of this, that she is not dealing with reasonable people here. She's been, I think, very accommodating to give them numerous opportunities to comply and to be reasonable. But we're not dealing with reasonable people. Look at, you can see it in the faces of Roysdale Ford and the others, the desperation. What they're hiding is anyone's guess. Why they're hanging on so much is anyone's guess. And I guess that would be, I suspect that would be revealed in the near future. But right now, the imperative is that GECOM should move. The court has not said what they're staying. They clearly can't stay GECOM from moving forward. So we don't know what the effect of that stay is. And we're very unhappy how it was meandering back and forth and changing decisions. I was appalled looking at it on television, how it was, where court could be so indecisive and so unclear in a matter as important as this is, particularly when we're 5 months late in declaring the results of the elections. So thank you very much. You inform about what the other issues, and I want to urge all of you to look at the full ruling from both the Chief Justice and the justices of the Court of Appeal, and you will see how hopelessly misguided, how hopelessly incompetent the submissions have been. And not just, but this is not misguided in the benign sense. This is being misguided in the deliberate sense to abuse the court and to prevent a declaration from taking place. So we continue to fight another day. And I hope that GECOM will now act. The way has been cleared by 2 courts. They have the ruling now in their favor, that they have the authority to conclude this matter now. Thank you.